If you have an interest in horses and love learning more about horses, the horse industry, teaching, or even managing your own horse business, then you're in the right place. We would love you to join us on our mission, which is to improve the lives of horses around the world through the education of riders, handlers, and trainers. So get comfortable, listen in, and enjoy.
This has been another episode sponsored by Online Horse College. If you haven't had a look at the wide variety of equine-specific accredited courses, then go to onlinehorsecollege.com and I'll see you over there. If you need help with copywriting, public relations, social media, email marketing, graphic design or website design, then talk to Sophie Barrington at Archer Creative. She gives a wide variety of service that will help you increase your bottom line through investment in marketing dollars. Simply go to horsechats.com, search for Sophie, search for Barrington or search for Archer Creative to find out all her contact details. She really is the equine business marketing specialist. Today's guest is Irina Aleksandrova. Irina is the director and owner of Equesterra. It's a therapeutic horse riding centre. We'll find out a little bit more about Irina and about the centre in a minute. But how are you today, Irina?
Very good. Thank you so much for asking. It's just very hot today.
It is. It is certainly quite warm and warm for the horses as well. Yeah. Now, Irina, I know that you're specialised in therapeutic riding. I know that you've done a lot and worked with quite a few different abilities, and I think, you're sort of looking at Special Olympics. But first of all, I should say, what is your favourite quote? I do want to find out more about you, but let's start off with your favourite quote.
Look, my favorite quote is actually a little bit from the spiritual, world. Mm-hmm. And it goes, there is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path. That is apparently said by Buddha. Mm-hmm. So, that's kind of I think the older we get, the more we understand that we need to treasure every moment. And we need to learn to be happy with what we've got. Working with special needs kids and riders, adults, it's definitely teaching me that. It's teaching me and everybody else around me to treasure what we have, to be thankful for what we have, and utilize it to the maximum, not whinging about it, but actually turning the disabilities, if you want to call it, mm-hmm. to abilities. We actually don't like the word, abled riders, because we believe that our special needs riders are very abled.
Yes.
So
okay.
That is how this quote, I guess, is turned a little bit for me with my particular work that I do.
I'm glad you explained it and how it's relevant to you too, because I think sometimes the quotes from Buddha, you hear them, but you've got to listen to them a little bit deeper and digest them and really get what the meaning is behind it.
And it goes to the rest of your life outside of horses as well. It's all kind of like once you realize and it really sinks in, the world around you becomes with a much different, much brighter colors.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yep. Now, the whole therapeutic riding, how did that come about? Did you, did it come about early? Did you have a mixture of skills? Can you tell us about that?
Look, I used to train people, just purely the word of mouth. It's like, oh, can you please teach us, how to ride? And
yes.
This person and that person popped in. That like most of us start this way.
Yeah.
And then just about 3 years ago, I met my first student just by accident, right when I decided that I need to explore a little bit more what we say in Russia is called hippotherapy. So there is a lot of different terminology about it, it's hippotherapy, it's therapeutic horse riding, there is some equine-assisted learning, equine-assisted therapy. There is a lot of different words about it, but it's pretty much just working with the horse, either on the ground or on their back. And once I've got this first student, and he was with autism, and I started exploring autism and what are characteristics and how do we see, how can we help, and completely contradicting everything that I saw this person was doing in the saddle. And I thought, hold on 1 second, this doesn't make any sense, because I read about autistic people not being able to multitask, but horse riding is multitasking. Not only we have to remember our posture, where we're going, how we're going to get there, remembering what I said we're going to do next. So it's quite a multitasking activity. And everything that I read about autism started just being completely opposite once the riders were in the saddle. We tend to teach our riders to be independent, of course, to the best of their abilities and also to their maximum safety. So if I have somebody who doesn't really understand how to stop the horse, or he can't stop the horse on a clue from me, that will not be very wise from my side to let this person ride, just in case if something might just frighten the animal all of a sudden. So we do work with people on the ground, teaching them grooming, horsemanship. We also are the registered center for Ready, Set, Trot program. So they can go through that program with us. So we can expand into the feeds and rugging and looking after them. But we also tend to chuck them on the horse and just help them work through a lot of the issues that they have, which is lack of confidence, high anxiety, low core muscle tone, inability to be focused. A lot of people come through with ADHD or ADD, and the animals seem to make them change their life completely, not just in the arena, but also outside. And we have some huge success stories. Every single one of our riders had a success, every single one, on the different degrees, different levels. But we have some phenomenal changes. Like I have one girl who stood up from the wheelchair. She was rejected by Riding for the Disabled. She came in to me. We started working with this kitty, and she's already, looking forward to start riding in the Paralympics program. And she's on crutches, and she's just about to drop one of them, start working with just the support of one. So this is something that is just blows your mind when you see that in real life and how much it makes a difference to other people. So it's about 3.5-year-old journey for us, and we have 3-4 inquiries each week at least, and there are 3 coaches already working on the ground. We're thinking about opening up a branch up in Townsville. There is a lot of happening, and one of our kids is going to Special Olympics World Games, representing our country. There are only 4 riders from the whole country, and one of our girls is, among them. And not a lot of publicity, unfortunately, said about the Special Olympics as much as Paralympics. And for us, it's important that people in our equestrian world stop looking at people with special needs as not capable. They're very capable. They can have the softer hands and much gentler and more profound communication with the animal, even though they have autism and they might have some limitations. But the sport is open for everybody. The communication with the horse is open for everybody. And we hope that Equestrian Queensland will support us in that as well, and they start recognizing Special Olympics achievements as also achievements.
If someone's already teaching, they might already be an instructor and be teaching people, and to be a therapeutic coach, what additional skills do they need, and what sort of person do they need to be? Think about their character traits and to go from coaching.
First of all, they need to be very empathetic, and never, ever even dare to look at this person like down their nose, you know what I mean? So we need to, our students, our riders, because we have all ages. Our youngest is 2.5, and our oldest, I had the lady 82 who came in riding.
Wow.
So it's not limited by age at all. It's not all about achieving high results and, bringing ribbons in the competition. It's about understanding. I think it's almost, it's not just teaching horse riding in a regular sense where you can throw a lot of the instructions. It's being able to disseminate them into minor little parts and understand really well which part goes after which part. When we're teaching, for example, hold, what actually my body is doing as the rider, so then I can actually project it and explain it for somebody who doesn't understand the world in the same way as me. So it does take a lot of them. It's a lot of the personal qualities. It's a lot of, I would say that the coach has to be intelligent and very observant as well. Much more so than with the regular horse riding teaching.
Okay.
And it needs to be a special person. It's like the girls that are working with us, our coaches, they're all mature. Or if they're not mature, in terms of the age, they're mature in the experience. They might have somebody in the family with autism or disability and understand that. From that perspective, that helps them then to become a much better, a much more understanding and much more attentive coach. But I think it's also, in a way, it also relates to the regular coaches who teach abled kids. I have to use that word, for the sake of clarifying it. We forget, we just want them to trot on the second lesson. We want them to canter on the third lesson, within the first month, without thinking what is involved to actually treat the animal with respect and at the same time be a successful rider, to understand and feel your own body, to be able to pass on the correct signals to the horse. So, we use the whips, we use all kinds of different, crazy aids, I guess, to make the animals canter. And then we have falls all the time, and people get discouraged. I have so many people who had really bad experiences in the past because they've been to places where they fell on the second, third, fourth lesson, never to come back to something that they love doing, but they had a big fright. The fright was bigger than the desire to be with horses.
Yes. What do you think's the best thing about working with people with disabilities?
Oh, with disabilities, they teach us to be better humans.
Okay.
They teach us to be better humans. They teach us to be understanding. And our kids and riders with ASD, with autism,
yes.
They're just very straightforward. Mm-hmm. They are very literate. If they say, you say to them, sit up in the saddle, they will raise themselves up in the saddle. So instead of sitting straight. So they're teaching us to be careful with what we say, how we say it. They're teaching us to be with them in this moment, not to think about, am I going to meet up my boyfriend, for
yes.
a drink at the bar later, or what I'm going to do shopping, wise in Kohl's. No, we're right here. We're every moment. How did you feel? Good. Watch your hands. Watch soft wrists. Sit up a little bit straighter. Perfect. Heel. Very good boy. Or very good girl. To be able to just praise or pull them back a little bit. What was good? What was bad? Let's work on that a little bit. You can do better. And my favorite phrase in my place, yes, you can. When I hear from my riders, no, I can't do this. Yes, you can. Because I know as a coach what you can do. I've seen you do it. I've seen you pushing yourself. I want you to push yourself just a little bit more, and then you will achieve success. Okay. And these kids that are the riders that don't have any other activities, they otherwise sit at home with iPads or iPhones. They can't participate in the team sports. All of a sudden, their world changes when they come close to the horse and they start riding the horse. Their whole world changes. And in turn, that changes the world of their family, the dynamics within their family, everybody else around them, including the school, including their social life. It becomes richer. It's just like a big, not a ripple effect where there is a big circle to start with, and then they go smaller. With us, it's like the other way around. It's like a snowball from small to the big, and that is fantastic. That is fantastic to watch.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, if you've got an individual, because I understand the whole rewards that you're getting from this, but do you have an individual you could give us a case study of what they were like when they started and what the progression was? I don't know if you want to talk about the one who's going to the Special Olympic, the World Games, or just someone who's made great progress from, rather than it being in a general point, but a person you can tell us about.
Glenys, for us, because every special needs person is very different, we can't, and they also have a very unique disability, let's put it. Even if it's autism is very, very different for each one of them. And if it's quite often with autism comes ADD or ADHD, anxiety, a lot of the complex needs. So there are more people with complex needs and tiny little achievement for us. If somebody who is in the wheelchair, I have this one boy in the wheelchair, he can't communicate. He can sometimes give us phrases via his iPad, but he is also, physically impacted as well. I put him on the horse, I take the horse off the lead, and I tell him zigzag around the cones with signs, and all of a sudden the skid actually thinks ahead, where he can't communicate in any other ways. I can see it. I jump with joy and I'm just about to burst into tears at the same time, because for us it's achievement. I've already mentioned the girl who stood up from the wheelchair and went on crutches. That is something that, that she combined her passion with her tenacity and her physical strength that was being built up, also doing occupational and physiotherapy, but not to that extent as horse riding, that she walks into our paddock and walks her 20 meters to where we groom the horses. Then she uses crutches to groom the horse. Then she gets in the wheelchair, rides in, and without my support, using one crutch, she gets in the saddle and off she rides. And she can do rising trot where she can't walk. She can do rising trot. This is an achievement. But all the sporting competitions, participation in Special Olympics, it's like an additional bonus for us, It's like when the kids are capable of, writing the test, going into the competition environment, be there by themselves on the unknown horse, because we do get a lot of billet horses. We don't take our horses anywhere. So unknown horse, apply the same techniques, the same skills that they already have established, and they come in with 4 gold medals, from the nationals out the whole country. This kid comes in with 4 gold medals, It's just a massive achievement for her and for us as well, because we created the environment where she can feel comfortable, and she rides with a smile. Every time she rides, she goes trotting with a huge smile on her face. And, this is just improving the quality of life. I mean, even minor little thing, if I have a kid who doesn't really talk much, he's considered nonverbal, and he will sleep better through the night after his horse ride, allowing his parents to sleep in a little bit, to be more rested, to look after him. That is an achievement for us. Massive achievement.
Yes.
So, you know what I mean? It teaches us to recognize that it's not just the ribbons. The sport and being with a horse, it's not just about the ribbons. It's little wins that are nothing for the abled people. They are huge for us, and we love them, and we cherish each of these achievements.
Irina, you talk about this with such passion. You love it. You can, you can hear that in your voice, how passionate you are about it, and how proud you are when they make these, what are perceivably small achievements for us, but huge life-changing achievements for them.
We've just done the competition in August. I've taken 27 of our riders, 4 of our horses, to the local the Pony Club. We opened that competition. It was not, exclusive for us. It was inclusive. The Pony Club people were also participating. We sent the tests in advance. We wrote those 2 tests from Special Olympics, and 27 riders. Everybody nervous. I could tell that. I had to walk with them in their arena, 24 hours in that sand, next to pretty much all of them, but most of them were riding independently. So proud of each one of them. They all completed the test. Some of them said, Irina, I know the test was right independently. Fantastic. What else can I expect? And not a meltdown, not a cry, not a flip, no tantrums, nothing. They all ran like troopers. So
Very
proud
good.
of them.
Very good.
Just unbelievable.
Just thinking about the horses that you have, tell us what you look for in a school horse, in the type of horse that you can use for therapeutic riding.
Look, I don't really search for a particular personality traits, for example. We have, at the moment, we have 7 horses, but we'll have 6. One is just to replace the other one. What I'm looking for, and I think it goes not just for therapeutic horses, we look for a good human imprint right from the birth of the horse. So when I take an animal at the age of 2, which I have now, for example, we've got one baby, he has had such a positive experience with a human being. All he wants to do is come over and cuddle. And because I don't rush them when we're retraining them or we're training them new things, I don't rush them. I need the horse to be happy to comply with what we want to do. So if I teach them to take the saddle for the first time, or if I teach them to do, side pass, I have a treat with me. And I don't hesitate to give him a treat, when he is learning a new thing, and then I slowly withdraw that. So every time when I need to pick up my animal from the paddock, I walk in there like, the donkey in Shrek, pick me, and which one of us you want to do? And if they're so trusting, and if they're so, through their trust, they're confident in you, they're confident with anybody else in general. So we don't teach our horses, I don't fall off their sides all the time. I don't slide their bum. I don't, I don't do any crazy things to desensitize them, because the horses in general that we teach, and we teach it slowly and patiently, they're just so confident in us, they can allow us to do anything. Do you want to drag the tarp over me? Fine. You know what I mean? I'm just thinking, okay, I need to experience. Oh, yeah, just don't close my eyes completely. I'd like to see something. You know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah.
So when we have a person who is using the crutches and they need to actually, as they step up, they need to lay across the neck of the horse. The horse actually lifts up his neck to support this person. Then they, lay lengthwise. Then they slowly flip the leg over, and then they slowly raise themselves up. The horse is not flinching. It's not going anywhere. Even if the crutch falls on top of them, for example, or on their side, because they trust us. They're right there for us. So it's that thing that we're looking for, a horse who wants to be with humans, the horse that, of course, doesn't have then, any of these nasty vices. They don't want to strike me, they don't have any reason to strike me. I can hang on their tails. We can go around their backs. They're not kickers, because they know, there is nothing for them to be scared of, to kick and run away or defend themselves in any ways with us. So that's what we're all, that's how we choose our animals. And I have 2 4-year-olds, 1 2.5 coming, he's being broken in, gently worked on. And then we have a 12-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 17-year-old, and retired 26-year-old fellow. But we don't use him, of course. But different ages, but all very calm, very relaxed horses, all of them.
If you're an equestrian coach or a horse riding instructor, or even if you aspire to be one, have a look at the free video series for horse riding instructors on the Horse Chats website. Go there now, have a look, horsechats.com. What about the people who assist? Do you get parents coming in or other people from the community who come in who say, look, I'd just like to help you. I'd just like to help you. I really like the message that you're putting out there. What can I do to help? Do you have people like that?
We do have people like that, people who are passionate about, making a difference for somebody else. It's a little bit tricky when they don't have any horse background. So it's almost like we do have to spend time without teaching them, everything about horsemanship before we can really get some help. And you have to teach them how to lead the horse correctly, how to maintain the pace, that we need for a person with cerebral palsy, for example. Our horses roam free in our paddock. So we have an arena where we ride. It's fenced off for safety, of course. We have a a covered area where the parents try to sit, but the horses also think that this is a great opportunity for them to hang around with everybody. So we have a little bit of a crowded situation with, 4 or 5 horses all jammed up under this, under this cover right next to the arena, so they can be right next to us, blocking the view for the parents. But a lot of the parents, saying we'd like to come and help, and then if they're available for certain times, because we do have a lot of riders who ride independently. I don't need sidewalkers that are used at RDAs. Okay. So it's very rare when I do have maybe about 3-4 people within a week that I might need somebody else there, just in case, what I mean?
Yes.
Just in case if something goes wrong. But in general, most of our riders, even the ones, the parents are very happy sometimes to walk, and the kids like that fact of security of the parent right next to them. Even though, sometimes I think, maybe I shouldn't. But then a lot of the kids, they just love their parents right next to them,
Yes.
And having fun as well. And for the parents, it's also, I quite often take their hand and put on the back of the rider. And I say, can you feel the muscles working? I said, you might think that we're not doing anything but walking, but the actual horse passes 2,500 impulses in the human body in 20 minutes of walking. That's a lot.
Yes.
So every step, as you know, the horse makes, there is a lot of work that goes into our bodies. That's why we use it for cerebral palsy, for example, or for weak core muscles. The parents appreciate an opportunity to feel what the horses are doing to a rider's body. Sometimes the parents say, oh, yeah, no, he's riding. Yeah, it's all right. I said, you get in the saddle. Okay, here we go, your turn. And I check the parent on, and they're like, oh, my God, I've never even thought it's going to be so wobbly. It's so, unstable. I said, that's exactly right. Now think about your son trotting around, remembering the instructions, remembering his test, and dealing with a 500-kilo of flesh that might just think whatever he wants to think, all of a sudden. So we do have members of the public, and we do have some younger, maybe like uni students coming through. We do a lot of educational work with QUT, for example, Faculty of Learning. Their students, the pre-service teachers, they come in to do the community service with us once a year.
Yes.
So this is when I teach them to volunteer, at the same time learning about special needs, because their classrooms will be full of the kids with special needs, with high anxieties, with ADD, and these future teachers need to know how to recognize that and how to help and how to get the best out of them. Through us, watching us work with them. So,
all right. And what about, I know you said that you're thinking about opening up a centre in Townsville. What else have you got going on in the next 12 months or so?
Well, we actually, my very, very big ambition, and if your listeners are feeling passionate about that, I'm more than happy to discuss it with them and have them involved as well. I would actually like to set up a precinct for people with special needs, one hub, one-stop destination where these people can come in and spend the whole day doing a variety of different activities, including horse riding, including urban farm, including gardening, arts, crafts, pottery, woodcraft, performance arts center, ballet, yoga, specialized gym, expand to the specialized swimming pool, all in one hub. There is no such thing in the whole Southeast Queensland, and I dare say Australia. I'd like Brisbane to be ahead of everybody else. We're talking about making Brisbane in the top 10 most livable cities in the world, but we forget about 15% of disabled population. We need to think about these people. And with NDIS rolled out, they do have some funding, but they don't have places to use this funding at. Quite a lot of these people, they can't attend the regular activities. We have to make something specialized for them. So this is my ambition. This is what I'm, working toward. The Minister for Disabilities is very supportive of us. I just need to inspire somebody in Brisbane City Council to understand the importance of it and help us get the land and grants and start moving forward with this particular project. Yeah.
Good.
And at the same time, Abu Dhabi in March next year. So that is when my girl goes to World Games. And just expanding, just we're softly expanding. I don't want to go crazy, overboard, because I need to make sure we have the right people and right horses on board. But I don't want to be big, I don't want to have 30 horses. It's going to be a very boutique, very specialized, very service-oriented and customer-oriented center.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, now, Irina, would you be able to, just in a sentence or a couple of sentences, sum up your philosophy about therapeutic riding?
That's a hard one. After everything that I have said in one sentence, it's hard.
Yeah. Well, one or two, three or four.
I think therapeutic horse riding expands the horizons, gives a better quality of life, ability to live happier and healthier life through the connection to the most beautiful animal on earth, the horse, that can give us so much, asking for so little in return. And we need to respect, cherish, and understand our animals as well as our riders. And look after them. That's it.
Yeah. Okay, now, Irina, if people would like to contact you, what's the best way?
Well, apologies, there is a rubbish truck coming through.
Oh, that's okay. Look, while you do that, they can go to horsechats.com, search for Irina, I-R-I-N-A. Yes.
Yeah. Or finding our Equasterra website, it's EQUUSTERRA. We come up, if you do the Google search on horse riding Brisbane or horse riding autism Brisbane, we come up there.
Okay. All right, then. Otherwise,
right
it'll
at the
be
top. So we are happy to be in touch and share our ideas and views with anybody.
Perfect.
It needs to be all inclusive. It needs to be for everybody. There's nothing to hide if we're all thinking about the client well-being. That's all.
Yeah, for sure. All right, and that website again, it's equasterra.com.au, or go to horsechats.com, search for Irina, I-R-I-N-A, or you can go to horsechats.com/Irina Aleksandrova, but just in case you've missed that, because it's a little bit of a tongue twister, just go and search for Irina, I-R-I-N-A, and you'll find out Irina's contact details. So, Irina, thanks for coming on. Thanks for your time. We'd look forward to talking to you again about some of your, just going into a little bit more depth into some of the things that you do. It would be really good.
Thank you so much, Glenys, for having
That's okay.
me. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Now, if you're still there, you probably know that I'm absolutely passionate about education within the horse industry. That's why I host this podcast. My other venture is Online Horse College. Have a look now at onlinehorsecollege.com and I'll see you over there.
Remember that our comments and instructions are general in nature and do not take into consideration your individual horses or your individual ability and circumstances. If you enjoyed this podcast, then please leave your comment below.